Hello, people. Welcome back. So, quick update on what's happening to this channel in the coming few weeks. I'd say it's about a month to go before the new game releases. Exactly a month, I think, or even 3 weeks. I don't know. My math can be wrong from time to time. Here we are. So, championship update. So far, my team Mercedes, we have kind of sealed it with 3 races to go. So the secret's out. We've won it, and drivers championship, we are almost there actually. Just one more race we need to attend and win it. Just score points maybe, and be about, I don't know, 42 points ahead of the next person, and we will seal the championship by then. But to add on to the challenge, I'm not going to be racing in the last few races because my main championship rival is out of contention, and my teammate is the only one who's in P2 currently able to contend for the championship. So it would be nice for him if he sends all pedal to the metal for the last 3 races and possibly challenge for his first ever championship. So good luck to him. And let's see, in the last few races I will be commentating over in the MSRL channel, so links will be in the description and in the top right if it's possible to link to another channel for now. But otherwise, here we go. So the last few setups are going to come in fast and thick, probably every 2 days or every day even. So we are here at Jeddah again. This track, I've done a lot of work when it initially came out, and you saw just now, just a mild tap. Like it's not even a tap, it's just a scrape on the wall, and it gave me an invalidation, which was a bummer and a half there. But either way, let's have a look at the setup that I have here. Let me just quickly save this before I forget for some other time. Though I'm not really going to be racing here in this coming week. It's good to have a setup just in case you want to jump into an open lobby or what. So the old setup that I had was pretty similar-ish. There's not really much to find in Jeddah. It's all flat. All the curbs are flat, pre-flat over here, and it's all straight lines, corners and straight lines. That's all. So there's really nothing much to find around here except being very smooth and precise with the inputs to be as close as possible to the walls. So the old aero setup that I had was also 9.5, and transmission I had it on 80 and 53 for the off throttle. Now 53 for the off throttle really worked well because there's only 1 or 2 slow corners around here where you really need the rotation in. But I found out quickly in the race that I did after that, after using this setup, 53 off throttle was kind of bad in the race because it was inducing a lot of rear lockups, so I had to run the brake bias at 51 or 52 in the race. Suspension geometry, again, it's pretty much the same for both setups. The old suspension setup that I had was a 131317. Again, it worked out well. The only problem with this setup was the off throttle differential. The only reason why I would say it's a good idea to run rear suspension slightly higher over here, it's because it's flat. It's like a chopping board, totally flat over here. The curbs are painted. The only curbs that you really need to take are turn 1 and 2, and then everywhere else, although there are curbs, you are either going to take it fully or you're probably going to miss it. So it's pretty easy to run a stiffer suspension setup over here and get away with it. But again, you'll be needing a lot of straight line speed, a lot of precision over here. Brakes 150. I definitely recommend trying 51 for the last corner because it's a very crucial braking zone over there. If you want to trail brake into the corner quite heavily with an aggressive setup like this, you are going to possibly lose the rear end, like I said earlier, because it's on 53 off throttle around here, and that will cause rear locking up if you trail brake into a corner. So unless you have ABS, then you're fine with running 53, even 50% off throttle. That's superb if you can do it, but again, if you are not running ABS, definitely go for 51 brake bias. That's pretty much going to offset all the negative effects of low off throttle. Tires that I had was like this, 28.3 28.3. Oh my goodness, that's too high. 23.8 on the fronts and 23.5 on the rears. Again, the higher pressure you have, the lesser wear the tires are going to have. It's going to be even more stable under load, especially in high speed where there's a lot of corners here. But there's also a lot of straights around here where you can cool down your tires immediately after, you know, going through a sequence of corners. And tire wear, no such thing as tire wear in Jeddah. You can take the softs from the start till about half race easily, and you can take the mediums pretty much almost full race distance around here. So there's no worry about tire wear. Perhaps if you are getting a little bit of overheating on the front, definitely drop it up psi or two, a click or two. If you feel that your fronts are wearing out too much, but you still are within the temperature limit, you can increase the tire pressure as you want. Keep the rear at maximum. That's pretty much the helpful way to go. Now, the new setup that I've made using the new baseline suspension that I have, it's pretty much looking like this. It's very identical actually, and even behaves the same. It's just a little bit better for handling since I've increased the off throttle around here. And aerodynamics, again, it's on 9.5. Transmission for on throttle, I have raised it to 100, but in the qualifying lap just now, in the hot lap just now, I was using 90, just because some corners, high speed corners, if you are putting down the throttle, if you are trying to accelerate as you're turning, having a lot of on throttle will make the car understeer a little. So putting down to 95 or 90 will help you with that. Of course, you have to be careful with your initial input, so that once your car grips up, and then the rest of the sequence of the corners, especially the S's, yeah, you're gonna turn in like butter at full speed. Suspension geometry, right, left, it's pretty much the way to go. You need very high rear camber around here so that the tires grip up in the high speed and they give you the rotation that you need. You can experiment with 1 or 2 clicks higher toe if you really want to, just so the car points in better, but you can also achieve the same effect from the suspension and roll bars. Now this is where the old setup and new setup differs a little. The old one was 1.3, 1.3 and 1.7. So 1.7 ride height was pretty pointy, but the problem is in high speed the car was losing itself under acceleration because it was too pointy. So either I reduced the rear ride height, which made things worse for me, it bottomed out, so I had to increase the front ride height. Now that's going to induce cause a bit of understeer in the car right now. So there's a few things you can do. You can increase the suspension and whatnot, but what I've preferred to do is stick to my 1.1 suspension as always, and I've increased my rear anti-roll bar, started at 6 and then I went up all the way to 8, and that's where I found a sweet spot for the whole lap. I did increase it to 9. It was a little bit sketchy, but if you want to experiment, you feel you can handle it, definitely go for it. If you want to increase your transmission to 56, your off throttle to 56 or 57, you can definitely go even higher on the anti-roll bars. So that's one way to look at it. But you do not want to go too high on the off throttle because you need to flick the car into all of the corners around here. It's not to say like a long corner where you can take your time to point the car in, but these are all fast sweeping, fast change of direction where you need the initial turn in, so you need a bit of a low off throttle to get the cars turned in. Alright, so brakes again is the same. 51, I use it for the last corner, which really helps to trail brake into the corner nicely. And unless you're starting your qualifying lap, then you leave it on 50, you run wide and you cut back in for a straighter exit onto the pit straight. Tires, again, they're the same, and same applies everywhere. Now let's quickly have a look at perhaps the changes that you can make for a wet session around here. Interestingly, Jeddah is one of the desert tracks where it can actually rain, and we have seen around a few leagues, few content creators as well, they have experienced rain in their league races, even in the career modes. So what happens when you have rain in your career mode or in your league race? First thing you want to do is increase your rear wing by at least 1 click. Or 2 clicks, that will be even better, and then you just go with the maximum front aero. If it's going to be inters all the way, then definitely I'd say go with 7 rear wing. You can, have pretty good pace. You can do a no stop race on the intermediates with higher aero like this, which is so beneficial. And it's already pretty hard to overtake here without DRS. In the dry it's pretty easy to overtake, but in the wets it's pretty hard to follow, one thing. And then overtaking is going to be pretty difficult because, well, you can't really get close unless you are significantly faster than the person ahead. So 11.7 I'd say is definitely recommended around here with intermediates or even wets. If you're too conservative, you feel maybe this is too conservative of setup for wets, you can drop down the rear wing. At least 1 click higher rear wing is needed in the wets for better pace. You can brake better, you can accelerate better. Alright, front wing, adjust accordingly to what you need. You can even leave it the same. It may be a bit understeery, but you can even increase if you want. Alright, so I'll leave this at the dry. Transmission, you can keep it the same actually. For once, I feel in the intermediate conditions, dropping the off throttle creates a bit of oversteer in the car. But if you already have higher rear wing, definitely consider dropping at least 1%. That's all. No more than that. The more you drop, the harder it is for you to trail brake into a corner, especially in the wet. In the dry, it's still manageable. And on throttle, you can again leave it at 90 or you go down to 80, whichever your preference in the wets is. Suspension geometry, keep it the same. Suspension, also keep it the same. Maybe you can drop the anti-roll bar by 1 click from whatever you're having. If you're already running like 5 or 6, then leave it as it is. If you're running 7, 8 or anything aggressive more than 6, drop it down by 1 click. You should be able to control the car much more easily in the wets. Brakes, keep it the same. Tires, keep it the same, and you'll be fine for a race in Jeddah. So yep, that is the setup around Jeddah. Hopefully you have a good time playing around with this, and hopefully you didn't hit the walls. So see you in the next one. I will probably figure out which tracks to go. I do have Abu Dhabi. I've done Abu Dhabi actually. I might release Abu Dhabi again if I have it. If I've done it, then I'll probably skip to China, which is the finale either way. So that's coming up. Portimao is coming up, and a few more tracks that I haven't covered. Monaco as well, and maybe just to revisit Baku for this weekend's race. Kind of hate the track, but let's see if we have improved from 6 months ago. So take care everyone, stay safe, and ciao, goodbye.